She's like, let me go back.
Sorry, it's warning. Warn me, I hit my very fast.
No, it was only
When they flash the light, when deaf people, we always flash the lights.
Today is Monday, July 13th. This is the City of Hays City Council meeting. We're going to begin our regular city council meeting with call to order and roll call. Our city secretary, Megan Tanton, will call roll.
Dennis Blake, council member.
Present.
Anna Baloo, council member.
Here.
The treasurer, Harvey Davis.
Here.
Council member, Tom Lemon. Council member, Tony Davis. Christine Doan, city manager. Here. Lydia Brian Bardet, Valdez, mayor.
Here.
And Rose McCorkle, mayor pro tem. Here.
Thank you. Next, pledge of allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, with liberty and justice for all. Hi, Teresa. No. Next, we will have public comments. Sure. I usually the line item. Correct. Teresa, you're going to have public comments as well?
Yes, please.
Okay. So first up is Mr. Jared Cox.
Over here.
Yes, please. You will have 3 minutes for your public comments. And thank you for being here, sir. Thank you.
Begin when I'm ready. Go start me then. Okay, cool. All right. Well, good evening, everyone. My name's Jared Collops. I live at 530 Tanglewood Trail. My amazing wife and I are celebrating our 7th year in the city as of this month. Yeah, thanks for the opportunity to speak tonight. I just wanted to bring sort of an educational information to the group and some research I've been doing on a behavior that residents encounter, but few may have a name for. And the name for that is an acronym. It's DARVO. It's DARVO. And those letters, they stand for deny, attack, and reverse victim and offender. And it was first identified by a renowned psychologist her name is Dr. Jennifer Freyd in the 1990s. And decades of research since then have confirmed that it's one of the most common tactics people use to avoid accountability for wrongdoing or actions. I highly suggest reading into it more. Here's how it works. The first item is D, it's deny. When someone is confronted about a harmful behavior or action, they flatly deny that it happened, even in the face of clear evidence. The second item for A is attack. Rather than address the concern, they go on the offensive against the person raising the concern, and they question their credibility, their motives, or maybe even question their mental state. Third, and the most damaging, is the last part. It's reverse victim, the RV, and offender. The person who did the harm recasts themselves as the true victim, and the person who was actually harmed gets painted as the aggressor. So I brought this up, so why does this matter to the council? It's because this situation of DARVO doesn't just happen in headline-making cases or in national politics. It happens in neighborhood disputes and complaints brought to city boards and councils all the time. Research shows that this tactic works as well. It makes bystanders more skeptical and legitimate victims more sympathetic to the person actually responsible for the harm. When a resident brings forward a documented concern and the response is denial, deflection, and character attacks instead of engagement with the facts, the process can end up rewarding the wrong party. I believe that for tonight, I wanted to bring up an objective item on the agenda, and I believe that is relevant to the interlocal agreement on tonight's agenda. Right now, code enforcement, or really a lack thereof, any complaints that come in regarding code between neighbors can turn exactly into this kind of he said, she said dynamic where DARVO thrives. Whoever is more confident, more persistent, or better at deflecting blame in the moment tends to come out ahead, regardless of what actually happened. Bringing Hays County's rules and enforcement authority into the city of Hays through this MOU replaces that dynamic with something more durable. Defined set of standards applied by an enforcement body working from documentation and evidence rather than who argue their case more forcefully. So I just bring this up. I want to encourage the council in adopting this, or I hope that you adopt this agreement personally, to build and rely on the same discipline as sort of mentioned here. Enforcement decisions grounded in documented facts and inspection records, and not in the party which is louder or more persuasive in the moment. That structure is what makes the agreement worth having, and it is the clearest, most direct defense against Darbo dynamics taking hold in code enforcement disputes. Thanks for your time.
Thank you, sir. The second person signed in today was Teresa Lemon.
So I'm Teresa Lemon and Tom's wife. You all know that. This is actually a good follow-up, and I really liked what you had to say. I want to bring the council up to date. As you know, I had the problem last summer about the pile of trash at the end of our driveway. I wrote a letter saying it was very dangerous. It's on an easement, which is a public easement. And it took a long time, a lot of money on my part to finally get it removed. Well, it's returned. It's been there. I have photographs of all the weeks it's there. It gets added to. And right now, y'all have a problem because there's a piece of glass that 24 by maybe 22, single pane. If a child, a car, a bicycle hits it, it could really injure someone. And I don't know who would be liable in that situation. That would be something your attorney would want to address. But if you remember, I think about, I don't know, 10 years ago, I had a neighbor that same house that tried to run a business doing the same thing, putting panes of glass. And I did have to approach the county and it did get removed. But I think this responsibility goes to our city and our council. I really am hoping that you move on the local agreement so that we can have major problems easily solved. I wanted to share something, and I think as we know, I've lived here forever, but I've never experienced any kind of vandalism at our home. And I was really shocked earlier this week. As you know, we had chosen to let the wildflowers get really high. And I think the majority of the neighborhood really enjoyed it. And so Tom did not mow so that they would go to seed. And luckily, when he decided to mow it, he was off. Like, would you say we were, I guess it kind of, but we were a little past the easement onto our property. And luckily he had his riding mower blade set really high, but he mowed over. Someone had placed in our yard throwing, I'm talking about 2 really large rocks. That's vandalism. Someone had thrown those into our property, hoping that I guess our mower would strike it or someone would get injured. And I have been kind of upset because I've never, in all the years I've been here, I've never really heard much about those kind of actions. And it's kind of a big surprise. And it makes me really appreciate what he said, you know, how this has gone too far. If we don't act on it in a way that control some of the things that we're seeing happen, I just think it could really affect the overall tone of the neighborhood. I would like to point out a second thing. I was kind of curious about the house that's for sale up on the corner as you come in. And so when I pulled it up, I was really surprised because the very first thing you read was that about the description that you can store your boat or RV there. And that needs to be clarified. I mean, on one hand, it seems like in meetings I've sort of heard us want to address some of that, you know, and yet here we have someone, and I'm sure the realtor is unknowing. You know, he's probably driven the neighborhood and seen storage containers or RVs or boats, and I could get it. But I think that the council should get really clear on this. I mean, I don't know how it works. Like, you know, can the homeowner say, well, we can do it because they've done it? Do we want this? Do we want this to be the future of this neighborhood? I don't know. I think that was kind of it. All right. All right. Yeah. Thanks so much. Thank you.
Item 4, thank you. Yes, sir.
I'll make a comment. Citizens communication.
Yes. Is this before 4A? Is this before 4A or is this 4A?
Part of public comment.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I didn't give you a little thing.
Okay.
Thanks for both of y'all. Y'all really said some good stuff. I also want to point out a real big potential hazard, and that is there's a tremendous fire hazard by the owner of the lot, Milestone. I mean, if there was ever a fire started back here and they do no mitigation project, we could have lots of houses burn up quickly. It's a real danger. And we're entering the time of the year where there's, gets dry and there's no rain. And, the most fire hazard time of the year. And I know there's a lot of comment about their development and what they should do, but I don't think anybody's ever or tried to get them to do any mitigation over there to prevent or lessen the danger of a real bad fire happening here. That property has an ag exemption, so those people pay almost no property taxes. And the ag exemption is, I really think it's one of the most abused and exemption that's in the tax code, because there's no way that they have a real ag business going on over there. It's just that's the appraisal districts. So that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Next item for new business, we have 4A. Today, we are honoring the memory of Kathy Davidson, our former city secretary and resident of the city of Hayes. Our treasurer, Mayor Emeritus Davis, has a presentation for us.
I was really shocked and really sad that Kathy passed. And when I went to research what she had done, I realized how much we owe Kathy and how much she did for this city. It's incredible. I served with her when she was on the city council, so I knew Kathy a long time, and she was almost always just real friendly. I mean, I can picture just the tone of her voice and the way she greeted people, and she always tried to be really, really friendly. And but she was a very private person. So once she retired, she lived, 5 or 6 houses up from me, and but I didn't really see a lot of her, and I'm sad that I didn't get to see much of her during the years after she retired in 2017 from the city. But she was on the council, she worked for the city in one capacity or another for 20 years, 20 straight years. And that was started in 1997 when she got on the city council, and she was mayor pro tem. And we had council meetings here when Jolene Brown was the mayor. And then later on, we had council meetings at her house. We did a bunch of them at her house. We used to have a trailer home over where the Tanglewood well is, and it was pretty nice. We had even elections there, but then it got mold, which I blame the next city manager for the mold issue. And so and then they bought a new trailer, but it was dump. I mean, it was a horrible trailer and totally inappropriate to have a council meeting. So we had to have meetings at people's houses in that time. And I remember when Kathy was on the city council, but she did the training to become a water operator and a licensed water operator. And so she, so, so, that our city secretary and the water operator, she wanted to resign. They, you know, this was Wayne and Pat Ford, and they really were, they wanted to retire. And, so they kind of had it set up where Kathy would take over. And, I wasn't too happy about that on the council because I didn't know anything about it. So I didn't vote for Kathy. And I just abstained. I didn't want to vote against her because I liked her. I didn't approve the process. I thought it should have been like we go out and compete, win the job. But, she did do a great job. I mean, Kathy for years, she read all the water meters. She read the water meters at Elliott Ranch. She sent out the bills.
Wow.
She was a city secretary. She did the minutes. She was the one and only employee for years. And she when I ran for mayor in 2014, she organized, it was in this, I'm pretty sure it's in this, she organized a debate because I was running for mayor and I was partnered with Amy Worth. We were sort of teaming because we were against the current mayor and his wife. So we had a full house and we had a nice little question and answer thing that Kathy organized. So that was really good. Kathy's one struggle was with the accounting. So I was able to help her out a lot on the accounting, and the auditors were really happy they didn't have to create the books and make all the adjusting entries. But Kathy worked hard and Kathy, when she saw something wrong or thought something should be done, she went in there and told me, she didn't hold back. And, she was always very honest. I was so sad when she resigned but she said it was what wore her out was reading the meters. It was just a struggle. And I'm sorry she didn't kind of come to me and maybe say I can't read the meters anymore, but I'd like to still work. And she wasn't paid very much, and it was a part-time job. The main thing she wanted, I remember those years, was she wanted health insurance paid. So I don't think she qualified yet for Medicare. And so she needed the health insurance, and that was really the most important thing to her. And Kathy, she had this business of going around to like companies and replenishing their first aid stuff. And so her car, she always had this little setup of that she used to drive around, her inventory that she'd go and do that. Kathy didn't have any kids. She didn't have any You know, as far as I know, she was never married. I don't know anything about her personal life. Uh, much again, she was very private person, but she did, before she got too sick, she's out there walking and stuff and was talking with, Sandra Ramage and she was shocked that Kathy had passed away and said how much fun she had when, they were out walking together, good talk and stuff. So anyways, I'm glad that Mayor that you approved putting the flag at half mast, but the city, the city owes a lot to Kathy.
Absolutely.
We will miss her, and her home, she took care of that home. It was immaculate. And unfortunately, one neighbor on this side has two awful trailers on their home. And it's a junkie, and he finally built a fence so that she was shielded from the mess that they have next door. So, they're just unfortunately sad situations like that people are not considerate of their neighbors' feelings. So anyways, thank you.
Thank you so much for honoring Kathy.
Yeah.
Thank you. Our next item under new business is for B. We will take action to approve the minutes for the meeting that we held on June 8th, 2026. Does anyone have any questions regarding the minutes? Anyone?
No.
Thomas, Tony?
No.
Okay, we will now ask for a vote to approve a motion, pardon me.
I
A motion.
make a motion, we approve the minutes
Do we
from
have a
our
second?
June meeting.
Second.
Thomas, second. All those in favor? Unanimous. Thank you. The next item is receive updates and take appropriate action to approve the financial report for May and June 2026. Christine Doan, you have the floor.
So the June financial report is still being prepared. So what you have in front of you is the May financial report. A couple observations, funds in Broadway Bank and Texaco total $1,881,964. Expenses were larger than revenues by $15,051. Taking a look at our disbursements, the largest disbursement the city paid out was to PGMS, and it was for $10,685. That is higher than what we typically pay PGMS because they prepared a lot of our compliance reports, our mandatory compliance reports. So that included water loss audit, water loss validation, water use surveys. And then there was also some TCEQ chemical reports. The city of Hayes also issued payment to Advanced Water Well Technologies in the amount of $3,052. That was for the Elliott Ranch Well Number 2 sub monitor. The sub monitor was something that Freeland Turk as well as AWWT, who did the repair on the well, strongly recommended it. Tom described it basically as like a type of surge protector for the well. It helps deal with any potential power surges. And then it helps just monitor the electrical power coming from the well. I think that's all I've got for our main financial report. Does anyone have any questions?
Yes, sir.
Well, no, I noticed that our water sales, both at Elliott Ranch and City of Hayes, exceed year to date the water sales last year. And for the city of Hayes, quite a bit more. You notice since we increased our water rates, that our monthly income from water sales appear to be higher.
Yeah, I mean, they do appear to be higher, but the city has also is expending a lot of funds for our water system this year, particularly in Elliott Ranch. I mean, we've got that very hefty well repair. And then we currently have a capital expenditure for that filter. And that's been a pretty pricey project as well. So as we get towards the close of our fiscal year, I think we'll have a good idea of, I mean, it was absolutely necessary, right? Our rates are extremely low. I mean, when we did that rate study, we compared our current water rates to lots of water supply corporations, cities surrounding us, and ours were very, very, very low at the bottom. I think there was only one other city.
I would recommend, mayor, city manager, that we do another review on the water rates and,
I do believe we're off
Right.
scope.
Huh?
I do believe we're off scope. I do believe we're off scope at the point.
we're
That's-
talking about the financial.
Right, but to introduce a new item,
Thank you.
if we may,
I have a question.
yes, sure.
Are this increases a one-time thing, or are they gonna be? Oh, I know there's expenditures because we did something to the wells and on material and products.
Oh, are you referring to
Capital
PGMS?
Yeah, PGNS is a one deal.
Right. So we get monthly invoices for them. The one that we paid in June was higher because they prepared compliance reports. So we are not anticipating. Those reports are completed annually, and then some of them are actually only completed every 5 years. So that will not be a monthly charge.
Sure.
Mhm.
I've made a note of your recommendation, so we can add it to our agenda in August, if that's okay. Does anyone else have any questions? Regarding the June financial report? Do we have a motion to accept? The financial report for May, pardon me, for May. June will be pending. We'll do that at our next meeting.
I make a motion, we accept the financial report as submitted.
For May,
Yes.
do we have a second?
I'll second it.
All those in favor? Unanimous? Okay, the next item. One moment. Is it 13? Thank you. The next item, discuss, consider, and adopt a resolution authorizing the submission of a Texas Water Development Board Water Supply and Infrastructure Grant application. The city of Hayes, our team has spent a voluminous amount of time researching, training, collaborating, meeting with subject matter experts, with our own engineering group, our attorney, with all kinds of folks in hopes that we're going to apply for a WSIG grant for improvements that we need for our city of Hayes to conserve water. And we're going to apply for e-meters and other things. And so we do need the resolution passed so that we can, pardon me, we'll adopt a resolution so that we can apply for these grants. Yes, sir.
Is that e-meters and other things? What other thing?
It's just, we narrowed it down to just that.
E-meters. Oh,
Yes. We had originally hoped to recoup funds that we'd expended for other things like well expenditures and what have you. We could not do that. So it's just their meters at this point and engineering of such. And so one of the requirements, yes, go ahead.
I just wanted to add in, This resolution is a resolution provided to us by GrantWorks, and it's one of the many required documents that needs to be included within our application.
This application's due the end of July,
Correct.
The 30th.
30th, July, be submitted.
Yeah,
just as a reminder.
Yes, it'll be submitted before then, yes.
you would like this to be read?
Yes, would you like to read it?
Sure.
Please.
Application, filing, and authorized representative resolution. A resolution by the City Council of the City of Hays, Texas, requesting financial assistance from the Texas Water Development Board, authorizing the filing of an application for assistance and making certain findings in connection therewith. Be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Hays, Texas. Section 1, that an application is hereby approved and authorized to be filed with the Texas Water Development Board seeking financial assistance in an amount not to exceed $500,000 to provide for the cost of water system improvements. Section 2, that the mayor be and is hereby designated the authorized representative of the City of Hays, Texas, for purposes of furnishing such information and executing such documents as may be required in connection with the preparation and filing of such application for financial assistance and the rules of the Texas Water Development Board. Section 3, that the following firms and individuals are hereby authorized and directed to aid and assist in the preparation and submission of such application and appear on behalf and represent the City of Hays, Texas, before any hearing held by the Texas Water Development Board on such application, to wit, for administrative services, that would be GrantWorks. And then for engineers, that's going to be Freeland Turk Engineering. Yep, so we'll bring that to the council. I did on, yeah.
Okay. Now the certificate of secretary
That's a separate.
is a separate,
Mhm.
that's just for her to seal the document, okay? And so does anyone have any questions, Mayor Pro Tem?
No, I was gonna suggest a motion, but someone might need to discuss something if they need to.
Or you can
Sorry.
file the motion and then we
Yeah.
can ask?
I
Is that correct?
make a motion that we accept the resolution so we can move forward with filing
Okay.
for the grant.
Do we have a second? And
I'll
after the
second that.
second, we'll open it to questions.
I'll
Yes, ma'am.
second that.
Thank you. Do we have any questions before the vote?
No.
No? All those in favor? Thank you. Megan, do you need this document back?
I have.
Okay. Next is item 4E. Discuss and take possible action to approve a resolution authorizing the city's approval of the Hays Central Appraisal District's proposed purchase of land and construction of a new office building in Kyle, Texas, in an amount not to exceed $15 million as required by section 6.051 of the Texas Property Tax Code. Now we have a document in our packet.
Would you like me to discuss it?
Yes, please.
Sure.
Would you like to open that?
So, the Hays Central Appraisal District sent us this resolution for consideration. For some background information, they mentioned that since 2019, the number of protests filed has increased from 22,000 to more than 55,000. Before the district can certify the appraisal rule, the appraisal review board must resolve at least 95% of filed protests and approve the appraisal records. So they have to resolve of those 55,000 protests that are filed, they have to resolve 95% of them before they can approve the appraisal. The district recently completed a feasibility study for a new facility. Basically, the current facility is they're understaffed and they don't have adequate resources for the amount of protests that are being submitted. This is coming to the City of Hays because per the Texas Property Tax Code, 3/4 of the taxing units entitled to vote on the, 3/4 of the taxing units have to approve this by resolution in order for the Central Appraisal District to be able to move forward with pursuing constructing a new building, a new facility. And I know the Hayes County Commissioners Court, that's something that they've been speaking about quite a bit. No, there was an original plan in East Kyle that was floated that got a lot of backlash. But yeah. We'll leave that. And then there's some additional information in your backup packets about it.
Yeah, a question. So it requires 3/4 of what you said of the different entities within the county.
Yes.
To vote to approve they're going forward with it before they're allowed to do that.
Correct. Yeah.
And so it doesn't go to voters, but to councils within, to the cities within that.
Right. Yeah, it's of the taxing entity.
Have you ever been to the tax? I don't know if they did this. It is crowded in there, folks. I have been there to protest and
Yeah.
you are standing up.
We're
waiting
one
to
of
go out.
55,000 people evidently.
Yes. So just so if none of you have been in the tax office, it is tiny, tiny, tiny. And I know nothing about this until I just sat down here. Just to let you, I did have to stand in line in order to do it. I don't mind standing in line now. So
And this only addresses building, this doesn't address staffing, so,
right.
okay, so
Again, I have a question.
Oh, yes, sir.
Is this, did you say 3/4?
Yeah, the letter in front of me. That's what I have listed in my notes, but let me double check from the letter that was sent. There's a 3/4, yes, sir. Be approved by the governing bodies of 3/4 of the taxing units entitled to vote on the appointment of board members.
The city of Hayes would be one and have the same number as the city of Kyle.
Right.
So it's not based on
Based on
your
taxing units,
valuation. Okay.
correct.
My question is, they're gonna, they're gonna have to raise taxes to pay for this building.
Mhm.
How's it gonna, is it gonna affect us? Is it gonna affect us? So we have to pay
I don't think we
Yeah,
have.
they assess,
the county tax fee? For the building?
it's
Yeah.
Be a county
very,
tax?
the
Within our own,
fee is
people go
very
to protest their taxes.
minor.
Mhm.
Maybe $30 a quarter, something like that.
Kristen, do you have anything to add?
I just wanted to confirm, Hannah, that you are correct with regards to staffing. It
Yeah.
does specify the district needs a resolution from your governing body to approve just the real estate purchase, and they are attempting to have that done by July 25th. So should the city choose to adopt this resolution, we would submit it to Central Appraisal District.
Do we have a motion?
Well,
Do you have a question?
my question is, there's an estimate of how much taxes might increase to, to build, I mean, we're all gonna pay more in taxes for, it, right? My assumption?
No, it's not taxes, it's the fee that the appraisal district has to charge the taxing entities
Right.
to be able to do what they are obligated to do,
Right.
which is a big and important job. And I'm really sad that so many people are protesting. But I've never protested. So.
And
So it just seems to me that they're asking us to do something that would no details of me.
Yeah, that's what
they did provide details. We do have a letter from them.
Does it explain the
Yes.
property and what they want to build? How big
of
it is? Is there something in here? Okay. I see
It's
it.
in your front.
Yeah.
It's the Hayes Appraisal District. packet.
Oh, it is. Okay, so
So the study determined the district recently completed a feasibility study for a new facility. The study determined the best option is for the district to purchase a parcel of land between 2 and 5 acres, then construct a building of approximately 26,000 square feet with a capacity to support up to 80 employees, allowing the district to not only address current deficiencies, but also plan responsibly for future growth.
Wonder how many employees they have right now. Like how big of an increase is that? Be a lot.
The staffing is what's
Yeah.
very expensive.
Yeah, this is gonna
The
go.
benefits, the staffing, the overhead, very expensive. Does anyone have any additional questions?
Is there any downside to the city to approve this, like,
Yes, sir. Mayor Harvey does not believe Treasurer Davis in protesting, but
Maybe with these additional resources, they're able to better enforce ag exemptions. Tonight.
good point. We can always call them and ask them about that. We did add it as an action item to our notes. It is an action item for us to research that. Does anyone else have any questions? Yes, sir.
I make a motion that we approve the resolution.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Thank you. All those in favor? Unanimous. Thank you.
Would you like to read the resolution?
Yes. Got it. Whereas Texas Property Tax Code, section 6.051 allows the acquisition of real property by purchase or lease, the conveyance of real property and the construction of renovation of a building or other improvement by an appraisal district for the purpose of establishing and operating the appraisal office or a branch appraisal office. And whereas section 6.051 requires that the board of directors of an appraisal district must propose the property transaction by resolution, which must be approved by the governing bodies of 3/4 of the taxing units entitled to vote on the appointment of board members. And whereas the governing body of the city of Hayes received notification of the resolution adopted by the board of directors of Hayes Central Appraisal District as required by section 6.051, whereas purchase of the proposed real estate and construction of a new facility offers the most effective solution to provide the Hayes Central Appraisal District with a permanent location in which to provide service to the taxing units and taxpayers of Hayes County. Now, therefore, be it resolved that on this date, the city council approves by a majority vote taken in a public meeting, Hayes Central Appraisal District's purchase of land and construction of an office building situated in Kyle, Hayes County, not to exceed $15 million. Also described in the resolution of the Board of Directors of the Hayes Central Appraisal District. Be it further resolved that this document be filed with the Chief Appraisal of the Hayes Central Appraisal District on or before the 30th day after the receipt of notification of the aforementioned resolution. And because we read this document after the vote, I would like to take another vote. All those in favor of the city of Hayes entering and approving this resolution, number 07-1326, which is today's date. All those in favor say aye, please.
Aye.
Unanimous. Thank you. Megan. Thank you, Megan. Next, discuss, consider, and take appropriate action to amend the city of Hayes fiscal year budget. Treasurer Davis, you have the floor, sir.
I have 6 items. They're not major increases. But of course, the city cannot spend money more than what's on a budgeted line item. So I've done an analysis of what appears to be what we will be spending to the year end, and so I'm recommending these increases so that we don't spend more than the line item. And one is adding $5,000 from 65,000 to 70,000 for payroll and payroll taxes. And that's because we have lots of work to do. We have good professional people handling the work. Fortunately, I'm recommending we raise continuing education by $1,000 to 45, from 4,500 to 5,500, and that's because people are doing continuing education, and that's good for our city. Then I'm recommending the financial audit, from $15,001 to $16,225. And that's what our audit actually costs for this year.
Question, sir. Pardon me. Go ahead.
I wanted to make a side comment about the financial audit. I think Montemayor actually quoted us over that 17, and Harvey said, come on, our books are clean. Can we meet in the middle?
Appreciate a better rate for us. Thank you so much. Our books are clean.
Easy.
They were.
Not easy, but they're clean.
So, trash from 92,000 to 97,000. And, we want to make sure we recoup that expense. Plus, hopefully a little bit more. Utilities, just $1,000 up to $23,500. Most of the utilities is for pumping water out of the ground. So, and the liability insurance, $7,000 to $8,000. So those are my
Our
recommend.
policy will be. That Chase Patents, is that our policy? Did we have a policy increase? The liability insurance, did we have a policy increase?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Even with,
I have to look in detail, you know, the main
with a zero claim?
The
experience?
main expense is
Mhm.
as to PML,
Yes,
but there are other insurance that we pay. I'm not sure exactly what offhand.
okay, thank you, sir. Does anyone have any questions regarding budget amendment for fiscal year 2026?
I will add that
Yes.
this, I do analyze this every month. So hopefully this will take care of the year, but you know, you never know.
We may be doing this again in August. Let's see. Do we have an motion to accept Treasurer Davis's amendment? 6 line item amendment.
I make motion that we accept the 6 line item amendments to the budget.
Thank you. Do we have a second?
I second.
Mayor Pro Tem, thank you. Like, do we?
Yeah.
All those in favor, knock on the door. Do you have a vote? Can we wait for a moment? Because technically he's not abstaining. We can go on to the next one and come back. Would that work? Oh, there we go. No. Okay, there's our squeaky door. Councilman Valdez. We have motion 1 and 2 in favor of accepting budget line item for 4F. And we're doing all those in favor of accepting budget line items proposed by Treasurer Davis. Say aye, please. Aye. Unanimous decision. Thank you very much. We'll now go on to 4G. Treasurer Davis is going to do this. Consider and take appropriate action regarding Barton Springs Edwards Aquifer Conservation District customer water fees. Treasurer Davis, you have the floor.
Okay. Well, this is the agenda item. The backup. And what we have on our customer water bills, you look at your water bill, you have your water, your trash, and you also have a little fee for the aquifer district.
Right.
To recoup that cost. And it's 0.17 per 1,000 gallons. But we're paying a lot more to the aquifer district than we're collecting. So in FY25, we paid the aquifer aquifer district, $16,000. It's a lot of money. But we only collected $5,900. This is from City of Hayes and LA Grant. So, and we asked PGMS to, but there's none of the other water customers or clients charge an extra fee on the water bill to recoup the thing. So, so we have a shortfall of about $10,000 a year because we don't collect enough. So it's either we raise, well, either we eat the cost or we raise the fee. You know, we had to triple it almost to collect enough to not have and not have a shortfall, kind of like the trash. Or we could just raise our water rates enough to pay for this and not charge the water customer. And that's, as you can see from the memo, that's my recommendation, because it simplifies people's water bill. And but we need to recoup that cost.
Transparency, it is, I think it's always good to have a line item so that we can see that BSCA CDP. So that our residents, I know I go line item bill that we have to check what are we being billed for? Because our residents may think, oh, the city of Hayes is charging us a lot more money, and why? When it's that we have to recoup our BSCA CDPs, that line item, or we could do both. We could do the recoup, and of course we need to do our water rate increase. Can we do line item by line item, or do we have to have a global? Do you recommend a global? Recommend a global?
A global
Fee increase without identifying what's BSCA CD?
That
And
was
water
my
rate?
recommendation, but I'm comfortable with whatever the council wants to
Go
do.
ahead, Rick.
Yes.
Is that fee relative to how much water you use, or we all have a flat fee? So
No,
it's a
it's
relative. So it makes,
7.17 per thousand.
right, so that it would kind of make sense just to roll it in, but
So
you want to see a
there's a
separate
difference
fee.
based on the permit.
And
Go ahead.
one of,
Yeah.
go ahead.
Right, so it's based on our permit for each well. So the city of Hayes pumps significantly less water than Elliott Ranch. So the city of Hayes, what we get charged is significantly less than Elliott Ranch. So I guess I do have a concern about removing the line item fee altogether, because I want to make sure that it doesn't disproportionately affect City of Hayes residents to be paying production fees for Elliott Ranch. Because, you know, quarterly, the City of Hayes gets charged $650 and Elliott Ranch gets charged $3,100 per quarter.
Mhm.
So a large portion of those fees are for Elliott Ranch.
Yeah. Well, there's two things. One is that we're charged the fee based on our allocation.
Right.
So, but City of Hayes water users always use much less than what we're allocated. So we collect on a smaller number of gallons than we're paying for. And it's kind of the same thing at Elliott Ranch, but because Elliott Ranch came on board later, there is two fees over there, and one fee from the Aquifer District for water is significantly higher than the other one. The other one is the same fee that we pay here.
Right, they have two types of permits. The first one is for an allowable production of 45 million. And And that's at the 0.17. And then their second permit is for an allowable production of 9,450,000. And that's at 0.5. So 50 cents, which is significantly higher.
Go ahead, Rose.
That has to do with when the well was dug correctly,
Yeah.
correct?
Correct.
It's how
Yes.
it permitted.
Right.
Okay,
Yeah.
sure. Sounds permitted.
Consumption. Does anyone else have
But
any questions?
I mean, the council could vote to raise the fees tonight. And could tell Elliott Ranch to do it right away. And then, which if you wanted,
You tell Elliott Ranch to do what?
I'm sorry, PGMS.
Okay.
Excuse me. And that way we could get it on there quickly, but we might want to do an analysis where we look at how many gallons like City of Hayes did and what the fee would be to collect what we paid and come up with a rate, and the same with Elliott Ranch would be a little bit harder.
Just to complete that analysis.
Yeah,
Should we
and
wait
then,
until we
and
have
then
those?
the
numbers?
rates per gallon would be higher at Elliott Ranch, which it should be, than at the City of Hayes.
So I want to ensure that I'm understanding this correctly. When you're referring to the amount that the city is collecting based on their usage, that's in regard to what we bill to customers, right? So I think it would make more sense for it to just be a flat rate instead of based on usage. Like we know exactly how much we're gonna get charged from BSEACD for the year. So I think we need to take that number and
To
then,
that
right.
And
Do
do we
the
vote
math
on it?
so that it's not based on usage, so that's just set,
Right.
and we're not, we're gonna make exactly the amount.
Don't you think if somebody uses 2,000 gallons in a month and somebody else uses 30,000 gallons, that the 30,000 person should pay more?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, they already are paying more based on the water rates. I think when it comes to a permitting fee, the permitting fee is not changing. Their water rate is, and so they will pay more per the
The
rate.
permitting fee is
Proportional to
based on
consumption.
gallons.
It's per gallon.
But I'm saying the city is gonna pay the same rate either way, whether we pump at the capacity of our production or 10% of our production, we're still paying for that set production allowance.
Does the council need additional time to review analyses? Do we need to make a decision today? I want to recoup the funds. But do we have to do this today? Do you recommend that we do additional research? Or that we form a committee at the next meeting?
Well-
Yes, give me one moment. Yes, sir.
Councilman has priority.
You were in the middle of a sentence.
My recommendation would be to double the fee tonight. And then we do an analysis and study it some more, but we start.
What would doubling the fee look like based on, is it on consumption or do we each have a flat rate? And we're doubling the flat rate, or is it gonna be a sliding scale based on consumption?
Well, right now it's on consumption.
Right, which
Yeah.
is why we're under,
Right.
because the city of Hayes doesn't use anywhere near the amount that we're allowed.
Yeah.
And so that's why we're not.
So you're saying, we pay $3,000 and we divide 90 into 3,000 and charge each homeowner.
And then divide it by 12 so that we have that
Yeah.
monthly. Yeah, that would be my recommendation because that,
Behind would pay the same.
because that ensures that we're going to make the appropriate amount of money back and we're not gonna be under. And I also think it's gonna end up being like less than $10 per person. Right now, when I look at my bill, I think I get charged less than 50 cents for
Yeah.
PSEACD.
Yeah, it's a very small
It can
amount.
be a very minute.
I'm a numbers guy, so I wanna see the formulas you're gonna use, the processes. But if you got it all worked out, I mean, I usually, when I take, me, I take this amount of water they uses and the amount we uses and get a percentage. And that percentage is applied to Elliott Ranch, and that percentage, the lesser is applied to City of Hayes. And that percentage goes to the, but I don't know if it's gonna work because there's a percentage difference, period, what they pay.
Is each entity based on consumption or the permit application? Are we gonna have a different fee based on each permit? Is the city of Hayes gonna pay one fee, Elliott Ranch is gonna pay another? Because the permits are different, and therefore the fees that were being
Well, if
charged are different?
if you use the city manager's approach, then it would be a different fee and they would be paying more. So it
Which a lot of the fees that
mathematically
we're
worked out.
receiving.
Actually, I'm kind of being converted that maybe hers is a good idea.
Makes sense, because a lot of the money that we're expending is there.
I think it's incredibly flawed that it was set up in this way based on consumption. Because it created, an opportunity for us not to be able to collect the appropriate amount of funds to cover these fees.
Well, it's
Yeah,
consumption is the rate per 1,000 gallons.
If we're paying 50 cents, yes, if we're paying 50 cents, for example, every resident in the city of Hayes is paying 50 cents, and we're gonna double that, correct? So we would each pay $1 a month for BSCA CDP, is that correct? I know it's silly, but I wanna simplify it.
Well,
Yeah, I think that's correct.
yeah, 17 cents per 1,000 gallons. I use about 3,000 gallons, so I pay, almost 60 cents,
Yeah.
50 something cents.
Yeah.
59 cents.
but we're including just the permit fee, not the.
No, not a water rate,
utility
right,
rate, not the water rate.
no.
Yeah.
That's based on consumption. So there's two fees.
Correct. If we separate them.
Yeah, we
Yes, ma'am.
separate.
So the flat
Well,
fees would be our city, and then LA Ranch would have their own flat fee, like,
They do have their own.
okay.
But they're not flat fees, they're based on consumption.
But you would, your proposal is that we switch to a flat fee,
That's my recommendation.
Right.
okay,
Because I think that our fees they're going to be very different, like
yeah,
what the city, because our permits are different. What the city is assessed is less than what Elliott Ranch is assessed. Because they have a higher,
So therefore,
Production
because
permit.
we pay less, because we consume less, or our permit is for less, if
Right.
the dollar fee is different. If we're gonna double to $1, what are they doubling to? What is every consumer there doubling to?
yeah, I mean, that's a completely hypothetical question, because it's gonna depend
For
on,
every client. has a
what-
different rate.
well, it's also just gonna depend on the route that you're choosing to take.
But we
If you
do,
go with Harvey's, then it's.
Treasurer Davis, are you crunching numbers there?
Yeah.
Okay,
well,
would you like to share?
let me have a question.
Okay,
Right now, we're establishing the permit fee,
BSCACD recoup,
recoup.
we're at a loss
We're
in
we're-
the fees that
we're
BSCAD is
establishing
charging.
that, okay?
Mhm.
Let's establish that, and then if we need to increase the water rates, that's a different
Separate transaction.
section.
I'm
This is
waiting
separate.
to crunch numbers over there.
Separate transaction.
Treasurer Davis? Are you doing the math?
Trying to, but I'm having trouble.
Okay,
I
oh,
think,
he's got the calculator in his brain.
it's about $3 per month household. Like at the city.
Across the board? Oh, here, what about there?
That's, what about the route of a flat fee?
Yes.
That's per month hours and then theirs.
Be across the board.
So it would be.
Or, no,
So
that's
would
for us
you
based on our
pay-
permit. Go ahead.
I'm sorry, 50 cents, and that would be a big increase in your water bill. Be $2.50 more.
I think that's
I thought we were gonna double it.
subjective.
That's not double.
I mean, I wouldn't consider that a large increase. I I would consider that necessary if the city is losing. We're not
We're not
recouping
recouping
the
the funds
funds,
that were being charged.
right?
Talking about fees and we're talking about two different things. One is fees and one is water rates.
No,
I'm getting
we're just
confused.
on BSCACD fees right now. Right. We're just on, how are we going to recoup our losses? Because BSCAD is charging us more than we are passing on to our consumers. So we need to recoup our losses going forward. And how will we do that? Do we need additional time or can we make this decision tonight? Do other council members have any questions or any input?
I need to see a number.
Yeah, I would like to, I would suggest, my suggestion, well, I want to see the numbers too. I want to see what that would mean for customers in all our water
Yeah,
systems.
no, the whole system.
So we could see what kind of impact it would have. Do we want to get,
Which method do you want?
that's what would be the difference. Suppose right now 17 cents, if we double that. Yeah,
Oh,
34
you want to
cents or
see
whatever.
both?
Yes.
Yeah, but what would the flat rate be? I can do this math in my head. What would the flat rate be?
Okay. That shouldn't be hard to do.
I think that would make it, I think I'll have a
Okay.
better grasp of what I'm voting on.
Should we table this for this evening and move it to August? So that we have additional time to do research and provide the numbers.
Yeah, we
So-
can't do it tonight.
Yeah.
Okay,
That'd be good.
I need.
okay. And we don't
need
require a vote
my
to table it.
comfortable
correct?
computer.
Right,
We did have a motion about
Right.
it, so we're okay.
we're good.
Put it in
Yeah.
a formula.
Okay, we're gonna table this item and revisit it in August. We'll add it back to the agenda to allow us time to provide additional analysis, conduct analysis, and bring those numbers forward. We're gonna go now to unfinished business. It is 7:36 PM. Receive update regarding the Hayes Commons development. I'll take that. We don't have any big updates. Right now, things are silent. One would hope that we are. Hayes Commons is working with the city of Austin. The last we heard during our meeting at Hayes County Commissioners Court. And the meeting that we had prior to that with Walt Smith and our state representative was that Milestone Development had not spoken to or visited with city of Austin since February. And of course, we had the big meeting in which the DA and variants were denied, they were canceled. No, that's the 90 days is for the administrative law judge gave Milestone 90 days to revise their TCEQ permit and change the TLAP. But do you have anything to add to that?
I mean, I think that was a huge update, for the Hayes County Commissioners Court to not pass that development agreement.
It's not your,
Right, that had not
Right.
happened at our last council meeting.
right, because we met on 6/8. Right, so this is true. I can provide it or you can provide it. We are so grateful for all 73 residents and our neighbors and fellow environmentalists who answered our call, SOS's call, Chaparral Park's call, all of the folks who are affected by potential tainting of our Edwards recharge aquifer, our recharge zone. Should Milestone build their development, should they be somehow allowed to build a wastewater treatment facility behind our homes on Country Lane? They are currently proposing, or we're currently proposing, to build a wastewater treatment facility right behind Country Lane, further back 348 homes, which the wastewater treatment facility would discharge 150,000 gallons of treated effluent spray over the Edwards Aquifer Recharge Zone. That 150,000 gallons of water per day. No one in their right mind would approve of something like that. We most definitely do not want this to happen to our beautiful city, to our water supply, to our wells. We don't want them to be contaminated, allegedly contaminated. All of the adverse things that could happen to us as a result of that would be damaging to us all forever, in so many ways. We spent, our team here, everyone spent the day at Hayes County Commissioner's Court. We showed up in record numbers, very united. Everyone presented, representing their own home and our city of Hayes, presented to Hayes County Commissioner's Court. It was a wonderful show of opposition to this project that did a wonderful amount of good for us. It came down to, we were all there for 6.5 hours. Our entire team was there 6.5 hours. We had to wait, I think, 4 hours, 5 hours just for our turn to be heard. We also, the judge at that time, Judge Ruben Becerra, at the opening of that meeting said, we're not going to open this, or we're going to table it. We're not even going to discuss it. There was some discussion between the commissioners and the judge throughout that morning on what they would and would not do. Then originally Judge Becerra said, you're here, we want you to be heard. In addition to everyone present physically, we also had 73 people submit e-comments. And the judge said, we have 73 comments. It would take hours for us to read just the 73 comments, but we do want to put them all in record. Because he originally said, we're going to table this. We know you have concerns. We know that you're here, but because you're here, what I'd like to do is say, okay, we're going to table this for 30 days. I'm going to move all these comments forward and not read them, but I'll read the name of the person who submitted them. And then I'll read 1 or 2 comments that have the meat of all of the opposition to this development. And so that's what they did. In almost what we call the final hour, after we all were able and given the opportunity to present our opposing comments, beautifully, everyone represented their homes and our cities so well. We're so grateful for the show of support. After that, the judge and county commissioners had discussions amongst themselves. One of the commissioners was touting that he believes this is the best deal that we're ever going to get. This is the best thing that's going to ever happen. We need to do it, that we have to do it, what have you. We all said, no, we do not have to do this. We will not do this. We will continue to fight this. We're not going to accept this. We're not going to allow it. And we're in this huge David and Goliath fight for 20 years, but it very adamantly the last 10. Then most of the judges said, okay, well, we're not going to do this. We're not going to vote on it. Everyone can pretty much leave or what have you. Most of the team left because, of course, we've been there 6 hours already, 6.25 hours. And then we actually did some press as well opposing that. We did get some press time. We did both print and media, the news opposing this as well. And about the last 10 minutes before county commissioners and judge were going back and forth, one commissioner saying, I do this, I do this, I do all of these things. I work harder than anybody else on this bench. I go to the Capitol, I do all this, I'll do all that. The commissioner shall not be named today. And he thought that he was doing so many things, wonderful things, and he deserved all the credit for this. Judge Becerra said, let's put this to a vote then. If you do all of that and you think that we don't do anything, let's do this. Now, right before that, I was hungry already. There's 6.5 hours. And I mentioned to Christine, our city manager, said, should we go? You know, he said he's not going to open it. And she goes, no, I think I want to wait just a few more minutes. I want to make sure that they cross it off and they go to the next item because they're on that right now. I said, well, he said he's not going to do anything. She goes, let's just wait another 10 minutes. Lo and behold, in those 10 minutes, we got the best news. They had discussions amongst themselves. One commissioner saying that I do it all. The others, the judge said, if you do it all, we're going to prove to this. Let's bring this to a vote right now. Procedurally, they had some issues. I think that later they had to take another vote behind executive session. But Judge Becerra said, we're going to put this to a vote right now. We're voting against this. It's on the agenda. Let's go to a vote. It came down 3-1 with one commissioner absent that day. The commissioner who said that he did it all voted against. The 3 who obviously voted to cancel it, to oppose it. It was a wonderful last 10 minutes of a very long day. And we came out of there victorious for that day. Wars and battles are won in inches. We've been fighting this for a long time, but it was a big victory for us on that day. We don't know what's happening behind the scenes. There may be a turn of events in November post-election. We really don't know what's happening, but we do have other things that are going on behind the scenes. Right now, we're waiting for 90 days for TULIP, which Hannah will give us an update on that. But, and Christy was right. I said we met on the 8th and that happened on the 9th. We did 2 back-to-back days. But it was a very big day for us. We all worked very hard, made the drive there, stayed there all day. And at the last minute, we got very good news that it was denied. It was denied. Do you have anything to add to that?
No, I don't think so.
What item were we on?
We're on 5H, receive update regarding the Hays Commons developments. Does anyone else have anything to add to that? No? But I'm so grateful for everyone's support. Everyone defended our home. We're very much opposed to the wastewater treatment facility, especially because of the damage it can do to our Edwards Aquifer recharge zone, essentially taint our wells, our drinking waters, our groundwater wells, and what have you, and live with a stench of phosphorus all day, every day, treated sewage. So that's not a good thing. We will go on to the next item. If you don't have any questions, consider and take appropriate action to plan a community event at City Hall. Councilwoman Candace Blake. Do you have a committee report for us?
Yes, I do.
And can you provide the names of your committee members, please?
Myself, Tom Lemon, and Teresa Lemon.
Thank you. Your question? Okay.
So, so we're planning to do this social event on the October 17th date of the cleanup. When the dumpsters are here at the well sites, and we thought, well, that's a nice time of the year, and that would be a time when we would be seeing lots of people in the community, and the word we'll get out the word anyway. We have a number of ways for that, but essentially, we're going to do it. We're going to be there from 8 to 12 with the dumpsters, but we thought 10:30 to 12 for serving the hot dogs. Didn't know anybody would have a problem with that, but we'd start at 10:30. Well, we'd start a little earlier anyway, getting the hot dogs, ready, but maybe serving around 10:30 to 12. One, did we say 1? Or did we say 12? We said 1, right? We go a little bit longer, 1 p.m. for the hot dogs.
Now the dumpsters will be 8 to 12 and the social from 10:30 to 1?
10:30 to 1, yes,
Okay.
that's right. And so we'll get, we'll have flyers, we'll get flyers out at the well site to everybody that comes to bring their stuff. But before that, we also will get flyers out either through mailing them with the Hays Happenings. However, the problem with doing that is it comes out in August, and this is in October.
Oh.
So it's kind of far away, but we can go to the doors, or we can just do I don't know if we want to do a separate mailing because postage has gone up. It's not cheap. So anyway, but we can also do other things. Like Teresa had a great idea about making posters and putting them in, behind the glass and the notice boards. We could just put a big sign there that in big letters, colorful writing, and that we can say, and people will see that. Nobody really walking by or driving by is gonna stop and look at that board very often, I don't think, but they'll see that. And then we can also do signs. Like we can use the signs we use for city council.
Yard signs.
And use those. You can either just cover them up with poster board, or Christine had some ideas about what also. But anyway, so we'll get the word out really well, we hope. And also, of course, in the social media and whatever. Tony, do you have a question?
Yeah, where's the hot dog gonna be at?
Here.
At
City
City
Hall.
Hall. Oh, at City
Yes,
Hall.
we're not cooking hot dogs at the well sites. We can do it here.
And I was wondering about that.
I think we had also discussed moving one of the trash
Here.
dumpsters out here.
Yes,
So,
we did discuss that too.
Yeah.
As well.
Will it work?
So
Okay.
instead of that well, have it outside on the easement outside of City Hall, so people would already be here for that.
So we'll have it.
But keep the other one on Tanglewood, which is the bigger
Yeah.
site.
So anyway, Teresa and Tom went to Costco and HEB and they got they priced everything that looks like we might need. We were planning for 40 people, but we easily could go up to 50 because like the hot dogs will have enough, like because they come in bulk, you can either do 28 or 56. So we'd have to do 56 anyway.
Yeah.
So we think, and there's just no way to know before the event really how many people are going to come up. But the good thing about that is though that all this stuff is freezable if we don't use it all. And then like all the water, the drinks, it should be enough for 50 people as well.
On the gift cards, can it be multiple gift cards instead of one gift card? Is it the idea to do like 520s or 250s or?
I kind of threw 100 out. So
Yeah.
maybe that would really bring people attention.
Oh, yeah.
But I think 250s. I kind of
Yeah,
laid
250s would be
I mean, I was just sort of, I thought, let's see if we could really get some people here.
Yeah. Well, we could have people doing the raffle, both at, whoever's working at the wells, we could do this, sell raffle tickets there. Or not
Distribute?
sell,
Yeah, distribute
give out raffle tickets there.
to participants, maybe?
And then, yeah, if they come here. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Do we already have the date secure for the TDS dumpsters?
Christine had that last time, I think.
Not yet.
Oh, you don't?
Okay.
Like,
I'll reach out to,
okay. So it's gonna be October 17th.
Don Slovic,
Okay.
Dan. not
Dan,
Don.
yeah,
Dan.
Dan.
We're thinking of our
Dan
Don.
Slovak, yeah.
Done.
Come back to us. Dan.
Okay, do you have any additional information?
Were we thinking about seeds still?
Oh,
Oh, the bonfire
yes,
packets, I was gonna ask about that.
My little thing.
The bonfire
and all that
packet.
stuff. We've got it on here for the wildflower things, and maybe Hannah can come and you were gonna be there anyway. You could
I will
talk
be
to
there.
people about how, procedures of doing the wildflowers, and I also thought maybe Sylvia, we could ask Sylvia to come. Yeah, they have such a flower.
Is this for
as
every
well.
family? to
You know I love
plant
talking about
wildflowers?
plants.
So,
I think we thought this idea of like not just neighborhood cleanup, but beautification.
yeah, and
It's been really fun this year, all the wildflowers
Yeah,
that we
yeah.
had, happening. And I do think if we would, I missed the meeting, but someone said Amber had come and talked a lot about, maybe focus on the how special.
Right,
Less on you get to just do whatever you want in this neighborhood.
right,
And more on the focus of, we do have kind of a little jewel box here
Right.
that look at our streets and all. I mean, I just think that if we could push beautification and stuff.
absolutely, and
Right.
yes. Yes, being proud of our city and what everybody can do. Their part and focus, especially, when we're doing something like this, focus on what we can do to make it nice and the importance of having our homes look nice, I guess. So, yeah.
and you would give every family a packet, is that the 50 families come, you'd give each one a packet? And it says wildflower big packet?
Yeah, the wildflower.
There's little packets
wildflower
and big
packets.
packets.
Yeah, Teresa found the different sizes.
Yeah, this was wholesale from the wildflower people in Grand Pulpit, and it's in their catalog. So we can get 50 for $40. That was in this last year's catalog. That would be good. That's very affordable. And then there's a bigger packet that you see sometimes like when you're at the Natural Garden. It's a little bit bigger. I think it has maybe 3 or 4 times as many seeds for, I think, $3.49. And I thought, well, maybe that would be fun to throw in a little bit with
We
that.
could raffle
the
that.
drawing.
We could raffle.
Trying to throw it out there.
Yeah.
That's a good idea. Yes, please.
Well, I think that you could do both, do the packets to give away, but I think that if we're having the hot dog time extended past the dumpsters, which we had talked about, which I think is good because then everybody can actually be together, that's when we should do the raffle. And then we can also talk about the flowers at that time.
Yeah, that's fine.
And with the larger packets, if that's something that we wanted to do, I can make seed balls and it could be on your way home, throw it out the window. You just throw them and
Wow.
you basically, it's
The birds don't eat them?
No, because they're like in clay and dirt. You basically make
Oh.
like balls with the seeds and dirt, and so you throw them, and it's guerrilla gardening. People do it all over, and so it'd be like on your way home, throw these. They could throw them in the yard if they want, but wherever, and spread seed, and then also take their packet to do what they want with theirs. Then it's just a thought.
Yeah.
Very nice. I like that.
That's fun.
Hey, Nick, that we didn't talk about in the meeting, but I'm wondering if on the flyer, if we do a flyer, do whatever door to door. I think we should also put where people can get rid of things that we don't accept, like,
Yeah.
poisons and paints. You know, there's
Yeah.
a drop off.
Cars, tires.
They have they have really weird hours. I just think that, tires.
That would be a great thing to put out.
Yeah.
Too.
I just think that some people may, I mean,
So add
they
that
could
to
be
the
able
list.
to Google it. but
Like
maybe-
this is not accepted here, but you can take it there.
Yeah.
Paint and all that other
All,
stuff.
it can be all be part of like the love your city. Like beautify. These are things you can
You can do
do.
a slogan.
Yeah.
You can do a slogan and. put
Well,
that
the
on
one
there.
from the newsletter.
I already put left
Okay, then you could do that.
city
Okay.
every month.
Okay.
Every other month.
You
but-
could have
I mean, I think that's what the day should be called.
Yeah,
Okay.
love your city day.
Yeah.
Right, I was gonna ask, so this one is consider take appropriate action to plan a community event. Do we have any other questions regarding this? Because do we need a vote?
The bottom line that we came up with is $370.67, but of course, we should put a bit more than that, say, not to
Like
exceed.
400
Not
flat.
to exceed such amount, but, because who knows what it'll be. 3 months.
Sarah Davis, is this the social fund or is it a line item? Social fund? Christine, do you have a question?
The one thing that's missing from it would be like the raffle tickets themselves. That's. it's gotta
Oh,
be
the little
purchased.
blue,
Yeah,
the
you gotta
blue
get
wheels?
those. So I would say just like make it
400.
100.
Yeah, I think, more than 400 or. Possibly, we
Social
might,
fund, yeah,
I mean,
it's $1,000 or something like that.
Okay.
Budget line item.
we might even want to go over 450. I mean, prices can go up at Costco and it can be a lot,
You want us to do 450 not to exceed?
maybe.
Okay, if we'll look. Would anyone like to file a motion?
500 to round it up.
Okay.
Why not? Because we're
Yeah,
not
I
gonna be.
This is one. About $1 of it was expended this year. So far.
Well, we
I mean,
hope
I
to
guess we
spend
still
half of
can.
it.
So I mean, I think this is something really reasonable. We want to try to be engaged as a community.
Mhm. Okay, so then the motion would be for the city council to pass a motion to expend not to exceed $500 on a community event at City Hall to take place on 10/17/26, which is a We Love Our City beautification event. We would have the TDS dumpsters on site 8 to 12. And then at City Hall, 10:30 to 1, we would have maybe discussing the seed distribution, meal distribution, and community gathering. Is that correct? Do we have a motion to
Making the motion.
accept that? I'm asking for one.
Yeah.
I'll make a motion that we move forward with the event planned for October 17th with a budget not to exceed 500.
Okay. Do we have a second?
Second.
Mr. Tom Lemon, all those in favor? Unanimous? Okay, thank you all so much. And we'll be looking forward to that event. The next, discuss and take appropriate action on street repairs to Live Oak Lane. I'll take that. We had a meeting. We've had multiple meetings, but we actually just had the last one, even this morning. With the engineering group. We have been working on this for months. The hope is to go shovel to dirt in October and our engineer here can tell us the proper wording of what we're going to do to Live Oak Lane. It's repaved, but there's a specific engineering word for it. To do the overlay of all of Live Oak Lane. We originally proposed to spend, and I guess not to exceed, Treasurer Davis, 300,000 on the overlay itself for that roadway, to have a new roadway, to have the repair of the entirety of Live Oak Lane. And speaking with the engineers, we're going to come in significantly under budget, and we always knew that we would once we go to the quote system and procurement. We have an engineering fee, separate line item from the actual work on that. We will have more information. That is the update as of today. We are under budget. We're going to start the quote process. And we will have those numbers for council in August. So that then you can approve and we can go to contract once we have the quotes done. And y'all can make a decision on the vendor and a start date, end date for that. Then we also, I guess, have to figure out how we're gonna move traffic and stuff when we're actually doing the overlay of the road.
Yeah, the engineer.
The traffic control, okay, yes,
It may go out to bid.
right,
Sure.
right. Well, we're waiting for the numbers.
See a quote. We're undecided on whether we'll go out for quotes or out for bidding.
Right, so what we're doing is we're waiting for the numbers to come in on the ADA driveway. If we choose to keep it separate projects, we can do bidding. If we do it together, quotes, we can do quotes. If we combine them, then we need to go to posting and what have you, which would take a little bit longer. There may be some cost savings, but there may also be additional costs in having separate projects and what have you. There's pros and cons to both. We will have more information by tomorrow. Then we'll speak to Josh this week and then come back with all the information to council at the next meeting. Does our engineer have any questions?
If you do the plan over here and the quote. In the middle of the work, you do a change order to the driveway, you should be able to let it in.
No, we don't want to circumvent the rules and
Right.
what's required by the dollar amount. There's a certain dollar amount of threshold that which we have to post versus quote,
Okay.
and we have to follow the rules. It's a must. So I know how we do it at the state and county level. That's not how we can do it here.
You bid on the road and you do with your change order.
The change order would not be for a separate project. It would just be for that one in and of itself. Not a separate one. And we don't anticipate having change orders. We're gonna do contract with one number and they're gonna have to work with their number. There will be no flexibility in how much they can charge us after that.
So if you have a,
There will be no flexibility in the
so
dollar.
you have an engineer fee, you can.
That's separate.
You construction fee and you have a testing fee.
All of that's included. It's gonna be all included. All the line items for the roadway repair and the engineering are separate line items, but this contract will have all of those fees. We already have the numbers. We can show them to you.
Testing.
All of that. Mhm.
Okay.
Sampling, testing, everything, all included, but we will not deviate from the number once the contract is signed. Does anyone have any questions regarding the Live Oak? I'm so excited to have that new road. So lumpy there. Oh, wouldn't it be wonderful? Progress. Does anyone have any questions about that? That's the update we have thus far. The next line item is receive updates and take appropriate action on the construction of well number 3 on Country Lane. Tony, you have this, but give the, go ahead.
We're just waiting for TCEQ response.
Correct,
We haven't had any response.
correct. And we just actually confirmed that again today and asked.
Just so long.
Yes, we asked, it. Can we call them? Can you email them? No, yes, but I'm just saying that we did
That's
even
always-
today. Today, we asked our engineer, can you call them? Can you do anything? And they said no. No. Thank you, Tony. Next, Rose, receive updates and take appropriate action regarding the grant for new generators.
So that, I think we had brought to the meeting before that we had to ask for more money, and that has been done.
Mhm.
And Lydia, you went through an extensive thing with this, getting a new letter out. Yeah,
Megan and I took care of that last week.
yep. So it has been done. The amount has gone up significantly since the original
$55,000.
$5,000 than what it was. And I think we did vote on an amendment to increase the
Yes.
amount.
Yes.
So.
Now, we did, the reason for this last document was, we'd already we signed and submit the amendment on April 14th. Following our April meeting, we prepared all the documents with Tatum and with Courtney. Then this last month, we sent a reminder saying, where are we with this project? And they said, oh, by the way, we need to do another one because FEMA kicked it back to Tatum. Tatum kicked it back to us. There's multiple layers of whom we have to submit this to. There was a line item with contingencies where it was 10%. FEMA does not accept a 10% contingency. Therefore, the 10% had to be put back into the global fees or what have you. Every line item, they would accept a 5%. Is that correct, Megan? We did a 5%. And then we had to add also what is it, that platform on which the generator sits? The slab. We only had one included in the budget and we included the second one. So that was what the amendment was for. And Megan prepared the documents, yes,
Then reviewed the application before they submitted
they
it.
did. And as did our engineers, yes,
Nothing they missed the.
it
10%.
happened. Yes.
Okay.
And so FEMA kicked it back to Tatum to our grant person to us. We all met. Megan and I met with the whole team last week. We asked for a 24-hour turnaround to avoid further delays. They did provide the documents. We did receive them. Both Megan and I did a cursory review of all the documents, checked all the numbers, and scanned them, signed them, sent them back within 24 hours. They're back and going up the ladder again. Does anyone have any questions about that? Pardon? Okay. The next item, receive updates and take appropriate action regarding Hayes Commons development applications to TCEQ to obtain permission to construct and operate a wastewater treatment facility within the city of Hayes, former ETJ, Councilwoman Hannah Baloo.
So
It's yours.
same as last meeting, that we are still within that 90-day period of well, I'm sorry. Let me find the exact word. Abatement.
Abatement.
Yes, thank you. 90-day abatement, which will be up on August 26th. So nothing has changed until that date.
Yeah, fingers crossed.
Yeah.
Because then we'll have to decide, then Joshua, attorney of Bickerstaff, Joshua Katz, will let us know when they do receive a response from the administrative law judge on whether we're going to have to provide expert testimony, what we're gonna have to do next and prep for that. And again, with our treasurer, know how much money we're gonna expend on that. And so that's where we're at with that. Thank you for that. Yes, sir.
Still SOS? Still with us?
Yes, we're fighting with, yes, in partnership. The next update, unless do y'all have any questions regarding Hannah's update? Thank you. Is receive updates and take appropriate action regarding Frontier's plan to install fiber lines within the city of Hayes. I believe, and I'll check with Christine, that we do not have any further updates. There was a draft document. Yes,
There should be a time limit on the permit application.
it hasn't, they have not provided any documents that we can review. They've not provided a permit. They've not provided anything. We did ask for all of those things and that has been provided.
Our engineer reviewed it.
No.
Review
They provided
comments to their plan.
it was not a
No.
formal permit application, so they provided basically a general plan and
You know anything on the permit, because the fee that the engineer is charging to be paid with a permit fee. I recommend we don't accept review of any utility or something within our city limits unless they submit a formal permit. So
Application.
the application fee, so we can get the fee and
Right. At this point, we haven't received a draft of permit application. We've
Yeah.
received nothing so far.
that's a very solid suggestion, so we're not expending.
Funds
Like that,
and,
like that suggestion.
yeah, I'm just waiting. Thank you. Next update, receive updates and take appropriate action on the Elliott Ranch well filter. On this one, we also met today with our engineering group, 3 of the Freeland and Trek engineers. Christine and I, Megan, we all met with this group today for the Elliott Ranch well filter. This is a costly filter. We are incurring engineering costs. We did the feasibility study first, which was approved by council. And now there are additional things that we're working on. This part, I believe we're ready to go to bid. We're ready to go to bid. And then we should have, go ahead. Quotes. Right, to quotes. We're gonna have quotes for this. We really hope to get this one done. Yes, sir. Treasurer Davis, yes.
I thought we were gonna check this. We were gonna check and see if people were still having problems with their water. And that perhaps the recent rain resolved the issue. We wouldn't have to do the filter.
Or there was a water table issue? I know we had a couple of issues recently of cloudy water again. Not too long ago.
Recently,
Not too long ago. Mhm. post-rain. Now, are you recommending that we do a survey as such, a formal survey? We've already done the feasibility study. We already have the
No, I
quote
just
for the filter.
recommend that,
Council had already approved the expense, right?
recommend that the city contact the home HOA
Mhm.
and see if those same residents are still
you're right.
complaining about water. Deep water.
In conversation recently, it was reported that there have not been recent reports of cloudy water, but
There's not been any.
there have not
Check
been.
right now.
But I mean, this has been an ongoing issue for what, a decade at this point? So I mean, I think even if it doesn't happen now, the city has expended a lot of money to just abandon a project that's already been approved.
My recollection is it's been a recent problem, not something that's been going on for a decade.
It's been going on for 6 years since the start of the stage 3 drought. We spoke to Dee, and when we spoke to her and we asked for the timeline and said specifically we're trying to pin this down to water table. I always thought it was a water table issue.
That
It was a water table issue, and she said that it coincided, but there's no exact science to say, was it specifically water table, or were they were taking sand in their water supply?
Are there, do we know the elevation of the water table?
No.
It's down to what it was, but I believe I remember the engineering, engineer saying they cannot definitively
They
say
could not.
what it is.
Mm-mm.
That's what. the
Which is why they
engineer-
recommended we do the filter. And in addition to the filter, today, actually, there's the filter, and this is something that had not been discussed with us, and thank you for bringing that up. The filter has a separate compartment to it. The compartment, I would say that it's comparable to, you have to change your AC filter out. You have to switch out the filter, not this filter, but in this one, there's a compartment that goes below the filter that will need to be cleaned, inspected and clean. A tank needs to be cleaned and inspected so often. And we asked her, what are the costs we're going to incur with this? We're already expending an astronomical amount of money on this filter, and we thought that would resolve the problem. And they said, well, it would, but now there's maintenance with secondary to having the new filter. And we said, well, how much money are we going to incur as a result of that? What type of fees? How often does it need to be done? They said it doesn't need to be done often, but you will need to inspect it.
They don't know how
They said,
often it needs
right.
to be done yet.
Right.
Yeah.
On the consumption.
What is the cost?
We don't have the numbers.
They didn't know.
We don't have the
Cost
numbers
of what?
They were gonna
They
get back to
expect it out.
Okay, back in
The maintenance
in
for it.
the maintenance for it.
That's something they're running by PGMS currently to see if it's something that PGMS is gonna be able to take on or if they will contract it out.
Maintenance to kill it.
It's not astronomically expensive, but it is an additional step in the process that we'll have to take care of. It's part of the water operation system.
I
that we'll need to
understand,
do.
but yeah, I know. Really needed after the drought's over.
It is still needed. If you're gonna put a filter, then you're gonna have to maintain it.
No.
Yes.
Is the drought over, then the
The
water,
drought's not over. It's not gonna be over in Texas. We're at stage
Ever.
3. We haven't gone down.
We actually
haven't
are
gone down
stage
from 1.
one at
right
the
now.
Bottom Springs Flow and stage 2 with the Love Lady Well,
Oh,
but
Love
not
Lady.
far to get back. I mean, we're not very strong.
They make a formal
So
announcement.
we are still considered in
Stage
stage 3 exceptional drought because that is probably very temporary,
Right.
you know?
We
Like,
got a good amount of rain, but not enough.
yeah,
Yes, sir.
it would take months.
Did you-
I'm just scratching my head.
Okay, so to make sure.
after it doesn't need maintenance?
No,
I mean, their filter you can take out and maintain.
this is a $50,000 filter and a $16,000 feasibility study before that. We've already have $70,000 invested in this. So the maintenance on the after part of cleaning out the filter reserve or what have you is tiny compared to the $70,000 we're gonna expend so they can have water without sand in it.
He mentioned that it
No?
has been reported to her since he's been on the board of the HOA, which has been 7 years. I mean, and she first became aware of it that long ago. So it's been some time, and they've also had the issue with sediment in the tank. So not only the cloudy water, there was
Which is the sand. Yeah.
right in the tanks as well.
So on that, that's the update for the Elliott Ranch well filter. Would you like for us to take, right now, this is the receive updates. Would you like for us to change the verbiage for August? Are you recommending that we discuss and take action? Or that we continue with the current plan, Treasurer Davis? Or our council, actually our council. Right now, this is receive updates and take appropriate action. If anyone else would like to send us an email, bring it back on the agenda, reword the verbiage. This is the council who makes these decisions. Y'all are welcome to think about it and then email us within the next week or so.
Yeah.
That part is, but Treasurer Davis is saying, perhaps we don't need this anymore.
Yeah. No, I'm probably wrong, so.
Probably wrong.
Yeah.
Because we are going full speed ahead with these projects. We're trying to do shovel to date dirt and completion October, November. The goal is by the end of the year that we have our street, we have our driveway, we have the Elliott Ranch well filter that we've already submitted, and we're under consideration for the I always forget the acronym, WSIG grant. We have, our team is working so hard on all these projects so that we can have all of these things done no later than the end of the year. There's a lot of time and effort put into these things,
Right.
and we greatly appreciate everyone's work. Yes,
The motion to be.
this is not a motion. It's,
We haven't taken action.
no,
Wanna take it, John?
no, it's only.
We already did it.
Actually, yeah, we already took action when we approved the filter, when we approved the study prior to that. It's already, at this point, it's not an action item.
So the tank item, that need a new tank or something.
No, that's only a maintenance component. It's like on the tail end of the project in the
Not when they-
future.
When they build it, they put it in.
Right, but it's part of the filter.
Okay.
It's the filter in and of itself. Requires a
I-
maintenance
I-
component. Yeah.
I just thought they forgot to include it in the fee.
No, they did not. No. Does anyone else have any questions about that? No? Next item, 5P, review and determine appropriate measures concerning cost of living adjustments for City of Hayes retirees. Rose McCorkle, Mayor Pro Tem.
Yes, Christine has done this work, but I will present that their TMRS did studies and determined there are different rates. We talked about changing and for employees or cost of living and at changing it 50%, increasing the rate 50%. The cost of living up to that standard would still not affect us as a city because there's a surplus in the system. So that is what I would recommend, and it would apply to our future retirees as well. When someone retires for the city,
So based on the contributions that we've applied for years, we have a surplus, and so we will not see an increase in our rate.
Right.
To cover our,
to cover that, there will not be an increase.
that's wonderful news. Yes, please.
How many retires do we have?
Now 0. We had one.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, she didn't see her increase.
There's a beneficiary name.
And we won't know for some time. Right, we'll have to probate that.
I'm very sad about that.
Absolutely, we're very sad. It's the first thing we thought about is that she didn't have to see her increase.
Yeah, it would make a difference. I believe it's $43 a month for that person. Yeah. So
Does anyone have any other questions regarding?
do we need to vote to
Cost of
accept that
living.
50%?
No, it says review and
Okay.
determine appropriate measures. And so it's not an action item. It's just review and take appropriate measures concerning. So the verbiage on that, yeah, take appropriate measures.
Yeah. I mean, so it's not action, but I guess appropriate measures would be to bring this up in August for a vote
Right.
And
to actually.
if the council want to go with that option, then there is a resolution that would need to be
Right.
Okay,
adopted. So
And
So
we
then-
can't go higher than that, but there's no cost to us at 50. at the 50%.
So then I guess like we can come to a general consensus so that we can at least have the resolution. So I mean, I'm in support of Rose's probably like what she recommends. Sorry, I don't want to say the wrong word. But yeah. So that, I mean, like, that would be the resolution that I would be looking for in August personally.
Okay.
And we could go up even, we could do the 70%, but is that, I've forgotten what cost that is to us.
So if you look at the
It's
contribution
right on
rate,
the,
the contribution rate would increase from 0.46% to 1.57%.
There you go. Which in dollars, Treasurer Davis, how much does that mean for us? Do we have dollars attached to that? And we have those dollars figures for our
with the-
August meeting?
yeah, if it were the retiree that this applied to, it would have made a difference from $43 at the 50% rate and 60 at the net,
Okay.
at the higher, at the 70%. But for our future employees, I think it would be also good to consider keeping up with the cost of living for them when they retire. I think that's the state of Texas doesn't know how to do it for me, but they might, we can give that kindness to someone that the state doesn't afford its retirees.
So then we will have an action item in August. Do you have any,
Is that the consensus that I'm hearing?
Yes,
Okay,
to just bring that, the 50%.
Thomas and Tony,
because these resolutions are prepared.
bring it back in August?
Yeah,
and
and
then-
people.
Okay,
Yeah,
So bring it back
is there a
in
deadline to submit that?
at the 50%.
no, there's not that one, at the 50%.
Okay,
Okay. And the next item is Q, 5Q. Consider and take appropriate action regarding the possible interlocal agreement and memorandum of understanding with Hayes County to enforce certain county rules within the city of Hayes. A week ago, or 2 weeks ago, I sent a follow-up email to the folks who are helping us with this. They say the draft is illegal. A month ago, they said the draft was illegal. I sent a follow-up and I CC'd the judge. And so then I received a response and saying, we're working on it and we'll send it to you. I said, I would like that draft. You can send it to us so we can send it to our attorney. We can do a quick turnaround and then we can schedule the meeting. We need to put it on the agenda for our council. And so when we CC the judge, then we got a little bit more responsiveness from the folks who are helping us with that. But we very much monthly, if not bi-weekly, check in with that team who has that document. Because it's a very important it's a very important agreement for our city to have. It's a memorandum of understanding and not the interlocal. They did deem that's not an interlocal, it's an MOU. We will be paying for the service. We know that. And so they're working on the draft between Hayes County and the city of Hayes for a memorandum of understanding, and they have not given us the dollar value yet. So once we have the draft, they attach the dollar value. On our side, the legal, although our attorney, Joshua Katz, is in Ireland right now with his family. But he said, if you get anything, let me know, email it to me and I'll take care of it. So even Joshua said, whatever you get, let me know and I'll take care of it. Even though he's on family holiday in Ireland, which we're
Probably
very
be back by the time.
which we very much appreciate that. Yeah, if he's not back, we'll send it to him. If he is back, then of course we're gonna send it to him right away too. Something that's a very high priority for our city.
There was no response to the latest email, which you said you sent this.
Yes, there was a response once I CC'd the judge.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize that was the most recent email.
Yes, that was the most recent.
one. Okay.
That was the most recent. I CC'd the judge. And then they said, we are working on it. We are gonna get it back to you. We're gonna do that. So they reassured us.
Timeline.
They did not. And I always ask for a timeline. I always ask, give me a deadline. Give me a date. I love a deadline. They did not provide it.
What item are we on?
Now we're on 5R. Receive an update from the HB 500 Grant Committee to take appropriate action regarding possible grant applications to assist in water projects. Christine Doe.
yes, so the application deadline is approaching. It is July 30th. The city met with Jessica Acosta, from GrantWorks, who is our application specialist. We met with her as well as Freeland Turk to review all of the required documentation for the application. It's a pretty daunting list. Megan and I split it up and we've been just going through it, and we are on track to have everything submitted to them. Some of the final documents that we required was the resolution that needed to be passed at this meeting, as well as a certificate of secretary that Megan has to submit. It's just supplemental documentation for the resolution. Mayor Brian Valdez and Megan, our city secretary, had additional documents notarized that were required. And we'll be getting them over to GrantWorks first thing tomorrow morning. To recap, at the last meeting, we extensively discussed what the city would be applying for, and we determined that we would be applying for solely AMI funding in a not ready to proceed project. I did want to come back around to, there was some discussion about whether that placement of 130 based on AMHI was for only the City of Hays or City of Hays and Elliott Ranch. And Jessica did confirm that that was for us combined. So still kind of low, but some good news is that that's our complete ranking. Yeah, and we are on track to get this submitted before the deadline.
The big deal, thanks.
Huge volumes of work. And Megan, our city secretary, and I went over to Broadway Bank. They're very kind in notarizing all the documents that we needed. After they were notarized, any document that we enter into agreement for any reason that has my signature, Megan's signature, we send to our attorney. And to make sure that all is well, Joshua also reviewed those documents and sent it back and said we're good to go. So as a safeguard, we always do that. Megan, do you have anything to add to that?
I do. Well, I just want to make a clarification. We have the two resolutions, that we passed tonight. City secretary and the one you read earlier. These both need to be notarized. And do we need to ask Canada for that?
Okay, something great. Thank you.
Because I don't know if they
Thank
have
you.
to be the day of the meeting. What I'm.
Good clarifying.
Yeah.
It would be better.
I mean, yes, it is.
It would be better if it were the day we pass it. Yeah.
It needs to be, because the notary needs to witness it. I mean,
And I
technically,
haven't signed anything.
I would be here, I was here, but it should all just be
Legally tied.
best practice.
Alrighty.
Okay, I'm just gonna say that our list for the last meeting that we had, our attendees were Tom Tripp, Vanessa Noran, Chris Boyd, myself, Christine Doan, and Megan Tampton. And we had a lengthy meeting regarding all that. We've had meeting after meeting and so much
That was
information.
with Nick.
Yes. Next. Does anyone else have any questions before we wrap up? We're going to adjourn the meeting. It's 8:26. Thank you so much. Once we turn off